Hi, I'm Rob.
And I'm Rolly from Remedy. Well, the recording process was like, we did a bunch of demos at my place in my home studio, and we did like several songs, some that didn't make the album, but the ones that we felt were good, we kept and we finalized the demos and you sang them and so on. And after that, when we have a song that we think is, the right one for Remedy, then we like strip it down again. We make a great demo, as good as we can, and we like strip it down and record the drums and remake it from scratch.
And there's one song on the album called Angelina, which is the first and so far only really happy song with Remedy.
Yeah.
And that song, it took us, I think, 5 or 6 different versions before we finally felt that it was going in that direction that we wanted. Usually it's not like that. Usually it takes like 1 or 2 or 3 times before we're happy. But that one was the hardest. Yeah, it was a mess. But we're happy with the result.
Yeah, absolutely. But I remember we recorded drums 3 times for that song. So, and that's the crazy thing about music. Sometimes it goes like, bam, you have a song, and sometimes it's like takes years. I remember our first song of the album, "Crying Heart." I remember writing that riff like in 2018, 19, something like. No, that riff is like 5 years old, and I wrote it for Roland Turner when he was making a record called Belly of the Beast. Sorry. I felt, the song didn't get into place, but we rewrote the song, I believe, also 5 times or so, and it took 5 years to get that song in order. So sometimes it goes fast and sometimes really slowly. You never can tell.
And "Crying Heart" is actually it's the first song of the album, and it's one of our heaviest songs ever. I mean, the riff is like baritone guitars and stuff like that. So I'm happy that you saved it, so we could do something with it. It's one of my favorites. Well, the biggest difference with this album compared to our debut album is that on this one, the newest one, "Pleasure Beats the Pain," which is out 24th of May, we're more confident in what we are doing and in what direction we wanted to do it. And this time we're not afraid to include like different instruments like harmonica, saxophone, and vocoder. And the last song is a string quartet acoustic guitar and only my vocals. I think on our first album we wouldn't dare to do that at all. But this time we feel like we want to make this a box of chocolate with like different tastes and more for everyone, which also makes it more fun to play live with that music, that you have different styles. I mean, it's still Remedy. Everything is Remedy, but we were confident to do that, and I think we wouldn't have been doing this album, as a first album.
Well, mainly, it's life. We go through life in our everyday, and that's like the main influence for this album. And also, the title of the album, "Pleasure Beats the Pain." Pleasure, pain, good, the bad, night and day. That's a part of our lives, and that's something we try to have in each and every song. Like you spoke about Angelina, that's like the light. Then we have another song, "Caught by Death," like that's the dark. And in some of the songs we have both the dark and the light in the same song. So that's like something we try to accomplish, that we have both worlds in the album.
My favorite from the latest album is, I think, "Moon Has the Night," because that was the song that, I mean, me and Rolly, we've been listening to these songs for almost a year now, on and on. And when we heard "Moon Has the Night," the final result of it, I was playing it a lot because we're so happy about it, and I think it's so great with the saxophones and also with the vocoder that we actually did that, and I'm happy that it's still on the album. I mean, because we were arguing a lot about the saxophones. Like you said, I've heard you say that saxophone is like the coriander of in music, which is true. And we like coriander, and we like saxophone, so we kept almost all of the parts where it was supposed to be.
Yeah, well, like Rob's told you, we listen to the songs too much as we are writing them, producing them, and recording them. So we're like a bit tired of them. But, a new song for me that, has grown strong is a song called Poison. That's a song that I really enjoy listening to still to this day because it's like, classic, hard rock, a bit of a accept style, a bit of Judas Priest and so on, but it has a modern touch, and also it has some harmonic twists and turns that I, I hope people will find it a bit different than the rest of the songs. Yeah. Yeah, well, the young generation, they don't have the same view of this as we do. They don't in their mind we don't need to have an album, and that's completely correct. We need to go with the flow, and this is our new reality now. But with that being said, we are in a genre where people buy records. We we sold out our last album twice, and I believe that we will do the same this time around if we that's what we are aiming for. But we have rock music has a lovely audience. We have great fans, and they buy our records, they buy our stuff, and support us in each and every way. So we are the lucky ones, in this rock, being in this rock business, because a pop artist, a young pop artist, I don't believe they would sell a lot of records today because they are in the new world, but they have the success.
And also that we want to do albums. I mean, to do 10 songs, because that's what we used to listen to. So I think that's also an important thing for us to do albums in that way.
Yeah, absolutely, because listening to album, our intention is that it will be a journey. We have made great effort and thoughts to, placing each and every song in the right position on the album, because as we grew up listening to rock albums, like you said, sometimes you knew, okay, 3 songs away. In 3 songs, my favorite song will come. And, just having that, waiting for that, it's a liberation when the song comes. And, that's something I truly enjoy listening to, like a whole album, because sometimes around you get new favorites, because you're listening to the whole album, then you get a new song, when you listen to it like 5, 6 times, a new song pops out and becomes your new favorite. So that's something, the young generation is missing, with this new one-off single thing, because if you don't listen to all the singles, it's so easy to hit, next on your telephone or whatever. So, listening to an album is a different experience, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, well, the summer tour kicks off tomorrow in Sweden, in Fagersta. And then we will be headlining a city festival in Fagersta called Våryran. So that's a great honor to us. And, it's a bunch of Melody Festival and artists, Eurovision artists performing there. So, and we will also be there. So that's like great for us, a total different audience than we are used to. Yeah, and we will also go to the Tower of Fire festival in Manchester at the Rebellion this summer. But so far, our main focus is, doing this tour in Sweden and releasing our album. And as we know, Finland is a wonderful country, with great rock audience, and so we can't wait to get going here. But at this point of time, we're just like touring Sweden.
Well, touring with Key Marcello was great. I mean, we've been touring before in other bands and stuff like that, so just being on tour is not something new for Remedy. But touring with Key Marcello and his band, because he's got a big name and he's a great guitarist, one of the best, and it was a huge opportunity for us to meet a new crowd and new audience, which we did. and traveling to like smaller cities in Sweden, and yeah, to reach out to new people and to hang out with new people. Because I mean, we played, of course, first, and then we had our merch table standing there selling our records and T-shirts. When the tour was over, the last gig, we didn't have anything to sell anymore, which is also because our drummer Fredrik is a very social guy, and he sits there or stands and talks to everyone, and he loves it, and we love him for that. We love talking to people as well, but he's like the so it was a great experience for us, but the biggest thing for us was that we actually got to meet a lot of new fans and people that got our record, and yeah.
Yeah, and for me as a guitar player, I grew up listening to Europe and Key Marcello. His 2 albums with Europe are truly amazing. And like 10, 15 years ago, I got the honor to play Rock of Ages together with him in Stockholm when the musical went off over there. So that was when I got to know him. And I remember, when I played the harmonies for Final Countdown, the solo, I needed to pinch myself. Like, is this really happening? I'm playing the guitar part with Key Marcello on stage here. Yeah, but Key is truly amazing guy, and I gave him a call and asked if he could consider the thought, bringing Remedy along. And thankfully he said yes. And in my opinion, we were a really good match, The audience of Key Marcello and Europe fits us like a glove. The rock scene in Sweden is truly huge. There are a bunch of bands selling out big arenas, Globen and so on. And we have amazing bands. We have a lot of our friends who are in huge bands, and they are bands that are touring the world and so on. But sadly, like mainstream media does not give rock music the attention that it deserves in Sweden. I envy Finland because this is a whole totally, the rock music is so much bigger here, and it's so much more appreciated, by the normal people than it is in Sweden. So sadly, rock music is huge, and Sweden is like a world leader, I believe, in rock bands and musicians and so on in this genre. But mainstream media doesn't see it that way. I believe they're mostly into pop artists and so on.
Yeah, it's kind of strange because in Sweden, the biggest festival in Sweden is Sweden Rock Festival, which is, I believe there's like 60,000 people tickets or something, and they sell out each year. Obviously rock is really big in Sweden, but as you said, mainstream media doesn't care. But then, we're happy to come to Finland, and we have a lot of friends all over the world right now, and hopefully that expands and grows.
Yeah, well, one thing I think they should do is get rock music a place in radio, get rock music a place in TV, because these are still, great sources for reaching out to people. And as we have a great rock bands, I can't see why a band like Ghost, who are touring the whole world, selling out stadiums, hitting the Billboard charts and so on. I cannot understand or grasp how they don't get any attention on the radio or on the TV. That's like crazy for me. If you have one of the biggest bands in the world and you don't show it off, I can't understand that. But anyway, I'm too stupid to understand how things work. But that's my view of it. Let us in. Give us a spot. We will handle it with care. Yeah, you're completely right. It's so much noise. There's 100,000 songs being released there each and every day. So that one thing is great. Everybody can do music today. Make their music of their own. If you have a computer and have the knowledge, you can do whatever you want today. So that's like a good thing. The bad thing is that everybody does this. so we have a bunch of shit coming out. Also a bunch of really amazing music. Sadly, all of us here, in this room miss a bunch of great music because of the noise. So that is like the thing we are trying to beat. The war against breaking the noise. Reaching out to people. because people seem to like our music, like we sold out, and the people seem to love us on tour. So whenever we are touring, I feel that our fan base increases. And, every time we get an opportunity to do things like, this amazing interview, we can reach out to people and so on. But that's like, if you have a good answer to that, how to break the noise, please let us know, because we need it. We need it. Well, we want to go to Miami. That's like our main goal. That's why we started this band. No, it's like a bit of a joke, but yeah, but that's like, that's our first goal, to go on a rock cruise in Miami, enjoying the sun and some Miami Vice drinks and so on. But jokes aside, we're aiming high with this band, and we are like aiming for, world-class top level with everything we do, that from videos, to the music, hopefully. And, we have just started, getting this ball rolling. And in 5 years, I see us on the big stages. That's truly what I do, and that's what we are aiming for.
Well, thanks for having us, and I hope to see you live here in Finland in the near future. Please check us out on social media. We're called Remedy Music Sweden. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Check out our videos. We've done a lot of videos, and we're very proud of them. Yeah. It's usually about a guy that gets beaten up by a girl. We like that story. So some of them are about that. Some are about other things. So yeah, come and see us and say hi on social media. Remedy Music Sweden.